you started out as an engineer and then worked in around Alberta, Canada, basically optimizing wells and drilling, I think, by the sounds of it. So, uh,
Yep.
and then you leapt into the software as a service technology space, which is a complete pivot almost. So, tell us a bit about how you ended up doing that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yes, interesting story. But just I'll try to give a kind of quick background. But yes, I'm a petroleum engineer turned entrepreneur. I've worked in the white collar industry for maybe several years, and like a lot of people, I made that leap to full time into entrepreneurship almost 7 years ago. But even while I was in university, I actually launched one of my first businesses at the time. That was a recruitment firm. So I was actually hiring tech talent for a lot of startups, like from for Berlin. These startups, they were looking for them. That was just something of a way for me to learn, and that's where I learned a lot of kind of the ins and outs of running a. It was in a SaaS business, working with SaaS companies, but I was a service business at the time. Made a bunch of mistakes, but learned from that. But my passion was really around, okay, how do I really increase my cash returns from the money I was making to replace my income? I really want, one of those people who just want to quit their job and replace my income. So I think, I started investing in the stock market when I was about 17 years old. And obviously, I learned a lot of hard mistakes, made a bunch of money, lost a bunch of money. But what I learned really quickly after that was you don't really have control when it comes to public markets. There's so many factors when trying to pick the right stocks. You're picking and choosing. But a business at that point can be affected by so many things like turmoil in the news, for example. It could plummet overnight. You can lose 50% of your value, and at the same time, you're also competing with the guys on Wall Street, right? They have a lot more sophisticated technology. They have AI right now. They have all these, they have this experience, and they studied this like for years, trying to pick better deals to invest in, and you're competing with them. So that's when I actually came across the book. I think maybe many of you heard about, Cash Flow Quadrant by, Robert Kiyosaki. That was years ago.
Yep.
And I learned kind of about investing and, generating cash and building asset, investing in assets that, you can leverage and using debt. So, at the point, I had a little bit of cash saved up, and I started investing in some real estate in Canada, which I still own. I bought my first one, rented it out. Hey, I'm making a couple $100. Then the second one, okay, it's working. But at this point, I'm like 25 years old, right? So I was like, this is just too slow for me. Like I've got, this is going to take me forever, right? Like $200, $300, $500. Like this is going to take me forever. I have to find something quicker. I still think real estate is a good investment. Don't get me wrong, but I look at it more of like a longer term,
It's a
maybe
long game. Yep.
long game, right? 20 years or so. But I'm young. I don't have time for anything, right? Um, so I invested in a physical business at the time. So I actually have a physical franchise gym in Canada. So I still own that business. I have a partner managing it, and that's where I learned about recurring revenue, how you build
Mm.
these contracts, and churn and LTV. Just in a different way at a very local level. But I still felt the limitation of that model, right? Like you're basically physically dependent
Mm-hmm.
in one location, and it's super expensive to scale, right? Every time you want to build a new location, half a million, $1 million. Still a good return. I look at it maybe if you're comparing to real estate, I'll say 5 to 10 years, still decent. That's when I learned about digital businesses, so online businesses specifically. And I bought my first online business from a broker called Empire Flippers. I don't know if you heard of them.
I've heard of Flipper,
Um,
but yeah.
Empire Flippers. So Flippa is like an auction. Empire Flippers, they're an actual brokerage.
Okay.
I think I bought my first affiliate site at the time was less than 50K. And that's when I was hooked. So I learned about online businesses. I was like, look, you can actually make money online, and you don't have to be in everything kind of from your computer. So I learned about, conversion rate optimization. I learned about SEO, how to hire and manage writers, all that kind of online marketing, affiliate marketing. And that's kind of when I quit my job back then. So and then a few months later, I'm learning, kind of growing this online business. I have my other stuff going on, and then I ran to this other firm called Wired Investors, and at that time they were doing acquisitions of a lot. Same thing what I did. So I did at the small level of $50,000 site. They were doing $1 million, $2 million businesses. So I came on, met them actually, one of the founders here when I was in Mexico, got involved helping raise some capital, got invested in some of their deals. And that's where I joined them and being the CEO of a company at the time called $99 Social, which you mentioned, where within 5 months of being the CEO, I was able to double kind of the bottom line within the company. So I did really well there, stick with them for almost a year. And then I moved, they gave me another role with another company, helped grow that, firm based in California. And then I was kind of like the group CEO, managing all kind of the SaaS companies. So I was working closely with CEOs. What I realized is like, there's a lot of good product led CEOs. And I think my expertise was really, I really like the SaaS. They had a lot of content websites, but SaaS is really, really, felt my calling, and I felt I could make the biggest impact. So I was working with the CEOs, helping them, use some of these different strategies, the sauce, the sweet sauce, which we'll talk about a little bit, and helping them kind of leverage the same things to help them grow. And 2 years ago, I think, that's when I left that group. I decided to really focus on launching my own firm. So that was Horizon Capital. And we just focus only on SaaS companies. That's our expertise. We don't do e-commerce. We don't do content. We don't do Amazon FBA. But funny enough, when I started Horizon, like it's a different goal now, right? Like years ago, it was all about cash flow generating, how to replace your job. But now it's, yes, we still think about that. Like, how do we get returns to our investors? We still give them, double or triple digit returns. But the focus really now is just about, how can we empower this entrepreneurship through a different path, right? Mm-hmm. How can, how they have that partner who can really help them scale? How can they take their business to the next level and provide, obviously those financial resources at the right time, whether it's looking to exit or helping them grow.